No one knows if the person like this name exists or not. Satoshi did an economic evolution by inventing Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a trustless ledger which runs on maths and cryptography. Blockchain also serves as an immutable ledger which allows transactions to take place in a decentralized manner. Like what internet is to an email, Bitcoin is to the blockchain. And blockchain is here to disrupt every industry, right from the financial industry to the agriculture industry. Let me give you specific examples on how currently blockchain is disrupting the industry and what innovative ideas currently being practiced. For an example, how about completely decentralized internet where ISPs are not needed anymore? And there are companies like Skycoin and Skywire, they will soon provide their custom built 1 Gbps antennas, which will have a range of 10 miles and can give the internet to 7,000 people. So you just require 20,000 antennas probably to serve the entire country and the continent, right? And the data is again stored in the blockchain. Number two, decentralized storage. This is directly competing with Google Drive and Dropbox. And a nearly infinitely scalable model where the payment that we are doing, the payment processor, right, which will actually replace all the banks using IOTA and Skycoin. It only needs to be seen which one can get an adoption the quickest. Now, an example, you'll keep your credit card and all of your personal information in your own machine. An encryption key will provide you with the access to the site. For an example, Amazon. And if you purchase something, you just need to share the key. You don't need to share your credit card information. So the receiving company or an organization will just receive the key and not the actual credit card information. Example number three, security identification. You don't require a passport for traveling anymore because the identification is now handled decentralized by blockchain. And there are already companies like Civic and Tiki who is working on this. Number five, voting. Voting can also be done through blockchain, and it will be replacing the insecure voting machines. Now, last but not the least, how about a Bitcoin marriage? Sounds funny? That also actually is going to happen where the secure public ledger recorded their commitment to each other and all the attendees of the wedding has been given a QR code to register themselves, right? So that link to the transaction comprising the wedding data on the blockchain. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome everyone. Lastly, I just want to conclude my keynote by saying a quote from Bill Gates: blockchain technology is tour de force. Thank you for providing me the opportunity and have a good day. Over to you, Josna ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tariq sir, for such an insightful talk. And I hope all our participants, they have learned something new out of this. So next, I'm here now to introduce the expert of the session, Mr. Pranav Shastri. So Mr. Pranav Shastri, he is a director, Shastri Programming Private Limited, and founder of Programming Fista Mumbai. He's having 15 years of industry experience, IT industry, and teaching experience because he is very passionate about teaching. And he is a corporate trainer and he's a technical trainer for Stock Exchange here, BSc in Bombay. His area of specialization is Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain development, and robotics. So we are actually privileged to have Mr. Pranav Shastri for this particular session. And I'm hoping that all the participants will have a very fruitful session all your doubts. Those who are new to this particular technology will come to know about the insights. You can say the session. You can obvious or you can send on. And now I think without wasting time, because everybody is waiting for the expert now. Pranav sir, welcome you, and please take over the session to the next level. Pranav sir, over to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Very good afternoon, guys. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate Thakur College to organize such a huge event on such a huge magnitude in spite of such restricted conditions. Special congratulations and thank you both to Mr. Santosh Singh, Dr. Santosh Singh, sir, and all the team behind this event. So, coming to the topic directly, today, the keynote speaker, Mr. Tariq sir, has highlighted a lot of use cases of this technology, which we are going to talk about, which is blockchain. So, technically, this technology is around 10 to 11 years old now. It started off in 2009, post the 2008 crisis, as sir said. So, not getting into the crypto aspect of it much, though it being one of the hottest topics currently about Bitcoin, and especially with the Bitcoin halving just passing by on the 12th. A lot of news articles, a lot of information is coming out regarding the crypto aspect of it, but we'll try restricting that aspect and focusing on blockchain, the main technology that we're going to talk about. If in case I move fast, or if there is an audio breakdown, or you all have any issues, you all can just put it forward in the chat. If possible, I'll try responding to them. So diving right into it now, what exactly is blockchain, and why do we keep talking about it? Why it is so important today? Few aspects of it were mentioned right now by Tariq sir. He highlighted that this is a distributed ledger, but the reason why we require this distributed ledger is that the centralized architecture that we have always lived in, the centralized system that we have always been a part of, somewhere or the other, there is a flaw in that. And the flaw is not in the system, the flaw is in the people managing the system. So it's a general human nature that wherever there is too much power, if there is a lot of power accumulated in someone's hand, after a particular time, after a while, maybe a few years, few months, whatever, that person tends to get corrupt. That person might not get corrupt because of money, but because of personal feelings, emotions, all of those things come into play. And because of that, there is a partiality coming into picture. Blockchain removes all of those aspects because of it being decentralized, and because of it being completely focused on math, as Mr. Tariq said, that it is entirely focused on math. There are mathematical problems. Now, if you and I were to solve a math problem, there might be an error because of the human touch to it. But if a computer is solving that problem, the error is not possible. If the equation is right, if everything is given correctly, then the computer will not get into a problematic state. That's what we are harnessing in blockchain. So specifically today we would be speaking on finance and management, two major aspects of our lives, and how blockchain has impacted all of those things. Now, what exactly does finance mean? What is the meaning of finance? Now, finance basically is everything that is connected to us in terms of money. Okay, everything where money is involved. So what is that? So all of these aspects come into finance, whether your ATM card is there, your bank is there, your car loan is there, your salary is there, you have an investment, you have gold, everything. And post 2008, technically back in 2000, 2001, when the internet bubble collapsed, when you might, I don't know if you all might be knowing, I think most of y'all are millennials and the generation Z. But when you were kids or before you were born, around in 2000, 2001, there was a big crisis. After that, again, in 2008, there was a huge crisis. And again, today, we are sitting in one of the biggest crises in the history. All of these crises that were there, it happened because of a few people sitting on the top manipulating things. And the major industry that they manipulated was this, the finance industry. In 2000, when the internet bubble collapsed, a lot of people lost money. Obviously, it's bound to happen whenever such bubbles inflate and then they deflate. A lot of people lose money. So in 2000, 2001, a lot of people lost money, and because of which the interest rates at that time were dropped down. So all the central banks, they dropped the interest rates for one simple reason, because people were not investing much. People were not taking loans. The finance industry was at a standstill. It had come to a standstill where they had to start moving it. It had to go up and down. Stock markets, for example, right now, ma'am just spoke that I work with the Bombay Stock Exchange. So there also in the stock market, if the market is stagnant, no one makes money. Money is only made if it moves up or even if it moves down. For some people who are not acquainted with finance, they might not know, but yes, even if the market crashes bad, people make huge chunks of money. So money is not related to whether the market is growing or crashing. It is related to the volatility, how fast it moves. So similarly, in 2000, everything came to a standstill. No one had money. So what the central banks did, they brought the interest rates down. As soon as the interest rates were brought down, people started borrowing money. Excuse me. So the people started borrowing money. This cycle went on for 6-7 years. And then in 2007, 2008, the housing bubble crashed. The housing bubble collapsed, it burst. So because of this build up until 2008, the markets went on rising. In 2008, the market crashed. So some person, as Sir said, Tariq Sir mentioned, some person, some fellow by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto, whether he's one person, whether he is multiple people, whether it's a guy or a girl, no one knows technically. It's still a mystery, right? But that one fellow, he saw that these people are continuously manipulating, and the price is supposed to be paid by the common man. The common person is paying the price, which is not right. It shouldn't happen. And especially for this industry, which we rely on the most. Finance is like our bread and butter. We get up in the morning, we work, we go to office for what? For finance. We do all of these things for what? For finance. All right. So we are continuously giving away our time. We are giving away our health. We are giving away our attention. We are giving away our data. For what? For earning money. And what are we getting? We are getting the notes that we have, the currency that we have, which is called as the fiat currency, the 500, 2000 rupee notes, correct? What will happen if today in the evening at 8 o'clock, Mr. Narendra Modi, the the Prime Minister of India, comes on screen and says, Mitro, 2000 rupee notes will not be valid for tomorrow. We've seen it once in 2016. All the 1,500 rupee notes, which we assumed were very, very priceless. We assumed that they were very important. What did the value become for those? Zero. Complete zero. So that's why he did that. Was it good? Was it bad? That's a different side of the argument. Obviously, there were various reasons behind it. But in general, when I'm talking about finance, that is the major problem of today's finance. That's why in 2009, when the Federal Reserve was bailing these banks out, which just played around with people's money, this group of people or person or guy or girl, whoever, Satoshi Nakamoto, came up with this technology which is called as Bitcoin, which is powered by blockchain. Why do we keep talking about Bitcoin for blockchain? Because Bitcoin is the first application, large scale application, successful application of blockchain. So blockchain obviously started along with Bitcoin, definitely, but Till that time, no one knew what blockchain was. And Bitcoin was the live example that, boss, this is blockchain. You can use it. That's the power of Bitcoin. And that's why we keep talking about Bitcoin. But yeah, we are not here to talk about Bitcoin. We are here to talk about blockchain in finance. So post 2008, wherein the governments were giving bailouts to the banks. Now, a very, very simple question, guys. A very simple question. Now, we all have cars. We all had cars, probably. Some of us had cars, bikes, or some vehicle that we drive or ride when we were in college. Probably one of our friend must be having, right? So we've seen it. What would have happened? What would have happened if you take a car, okay, your car, you go, and by doing mischief, you just bang the car into some wall? What's going to happen when you come home? First thing your parents are going to ask you, did you get hurt? So they'll ask you, definitely. Your parents are supposed to ask you, did you get hurt? So you will say, no, I didn't get hurt much. After that, you will get hurt. They'll beat you up. But the question that I want to ask you here is, will they give you another car for driving? Or maybe, you banged a Maruti. Will they give you a BMW to drive? No. It's stupid. You don't know to drive. You can't handle this responsibility. So why will I give you another car? But what did the central banks do? In spite of the banks, these local banks, whatever name you give it, whether it's PMC, whether it's Yes Bank, whatever you call it, these banks don't know how to handle money. They give away our money to people who are not eligible. What is the central bank doing? Giving them more money. Whose money it is? Who's going to pay for that? We are going to pay for that. All right. So in this manner, there is a lot of manipulation going on behind the scenes. And that's why this entire structure came up, which is called as fintech. Okay. Financial technology. Fintech is a very broad topic. I don't want to discuss it here because this topic itself comprises of a lot of things. Okay. For example, it comprises of the payment tech, the payment industry, whatever payments we do, whether it's credit card, whether it's net banking, whether it's application, card payments, security tech, whatever the technology is required for security, for your privacy and everything, and reg tech, regulatory technology for regulation, like the cameras installed on the signals, all of that comes under reg tech. Then there is something called as insurtech. Okay, so insurtech is another one wherein your insurance now is done totally using technology. Another one is wealth tech. Your wealth management is happening now using technology. So what you have to buy, what you don't have to buy, everything, But one of the important aspects here is blockchain. Now, what exactly is this blockchain? Why are we talking about blockchain so much? What is the importance of this? Okay, now blockchain is nothing but, as Mr. Tariq said right now, blockchain is a public ledger. A few important aspects of blockchain. So what does blockchain mean? Blockchain is a shared public ledger which is decentralized, which is secure, which can be trusted, and it is totally automated. So I'll give you an example through Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the first application of blockchain, correct? So what happens here is that whatever transactions have happened till date on any of the blockchains, they are all present. They are all there in the public domain if it is a public blockchain, and they are available for anyone to see, but no one can manipulate it. I'll give you an example. Let me show you the Bitcoin blockchain directly. So, recently I have started moving away from the traditional presentations that we have. I've started liking, showing live things on the website. So this is a blockchain explorer. You can see here, the heading is a blockchain. Everyone can see the website, right? In case if you can't see, just mention on the chat. You can't see it, or if you can't hear me, then also you can ping me on the chat. So here, this is basically a blockchain explorer. what does this blockchain explorer do? It shows you all the blocks. So technically here the blocks should appear. It's not coming here. Just let's wait for a minute. So it shows you all the blocks that have been mined, that have been coming in. Okay, I'll talk in a little bit Hindi also. So blockchain, as mentioned, it is a public ledger. वो public ledger है जिसके अंदर सारा कुछ store हो चुका होता है, and it is publicly available. कोई उसको delete नहीं कर सकता, कोई उसको modify नहीं कर सकता, कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता, right? So since it's not coming up, let's type in the block number directly. So since inception, जब से Bitcoin शुरू हुआ है, these see, so this is a block wherein you can see that this is the transaction that is there. Okay, this is block number 63,000, and उसके अंदर transaction कितने थे? खाली एक ही transaction था. There was only one transaction. So this transaction is there. And when did this happen? You can see the date and time. This was in 2010, June, 27th June, night 11:39. So that's what this is. Block number is, you can imagine block number to be the number of records. So क्या होता है कि बहुत सारे records होते हैं, बहुत सारे transaction होते हैं. Like right now you all are chatting. So ये जो भी आप chat पे भेज रहे हो, ये सारे logs बन जाएंगे, ये सारे transaction है. You are sending something on the chat box. So these chat, all these chats, they can be put in one box and they can be made into one file. तो ये एक text file बना के हम लोग डाल देंगे online. That okay, Mr. Mohammed sent this. Mr. iPad sent this, Mr. Vijay sent this. So those transactions, those records are put on the internet for public display in case if this goes public. So we need to know in what order they are. So that's why the block number or the block height. So ये बताता है कि जो next होगा, the next block is going to be 63,001. Okay, there's no link for the next block here, but if I just go back and if I say 63,001, if I do this, see, it is going to be on the same day probably, but it is going to be after that time. So वो जो इस time पे था उसके बाद वाला. So that's why there's significance of the block height. Okay, the block number. And here also there was just one transaction. Let's look at some recent blocks. So recently I was telling you that there was a Bitcoin halving that happened at 6,30,000th block. So when I search for it, you can see the result has come. How many transactions were there here? कितने transactions इसमें store हुए थे? You can see here 3,134 transactions. What were the number of Bitcoins that were transferred? You can see the volume were 3,311 Bitcoins were transferred, and all the transactions are here. So technically every record is stored here, which no one can manipulate. Everyone can view it, and everyone can look at it, okay, but no one can change it, no one can. So this is the power of blockchain, and that's why we require such a technology for something as important as finance. Why? Because finance is our life. Finance is something that we are totally connected to. Our majority of the life goes in what? In studying. Why do we study? So that we can get a good job. Why do we work? Because we want to make money. Why do we make money? So that we can save for things. But what happens when government starts manipulating with such things? So because such manipulations are not supposed to be there, we need blockchain. Now in finance, there's a huge requirement of such a technology, because firstly, it's one of the most important factors or sectors in our life. Secondly, we have to focus on creating an infrastructure which is so transparent, which is so clear, which everyone can understand. Okay, this is very easy to understand. आपने पुराने जमाने की मूवीज में देखा होगा, जो राजा वगैरह लोग होते थे उनके मुनीम होते थे. They had some secretary of sorts who would keep all the records. उनका एक बही खाता होता था. They would keep records in that, and that was a single copy. Okay, imagine if such a copy was with every person in the village. But obviously You should not know what I have done. I should not know what you have done. तो हमारे transactions encrypt होते, जिससे आपको आपका transaction दिखता, मुझको मेरा transaction दिखता. What would have happened out of that? So I would know that, okay, I have taken 1,000 rupees from that lender and he is not charging me for 2,000. Because पुराने जमाने में अगर आप देखो तो क्या होता था, that a person would take some chunk of money, थोड़ा पैसा लेते थे वो उधारी पे, and his entire generation would have paid the money back because they would not know what that fellow is writing. So if things become transparent, if things become decentralized that one person cannot modify, the things become secure, things become trusted and perfectly automated. Today we are talking about artificial intelligence. Today we are talking about machine learning. We are talking about data science. All of these things we are talking about. What if this technology can be combined with those powerful tech, and we can have like a baby of blockchain and AI? If that can happen, you imagine our lives would become so much easier. And trust me, humans love the life being easier. We like that our lives are easier. So that's why blockchain came into existence. Now, how blockchain works, I have a slide. I'll just go a little ahead. Now, this is the sequence in which the blockchain blocks are stored. I think one of you all asked what is the block number, why the block number. So ऐसे जो starting का block होता है वो 1 है, मतलब 1 के अंदर वो transactions store होंगी जो starting में की गई हो. The first transactions are stored in 1, उसके बाद वाली 2, उसके बाद वाली 3 and so on. Every block has a fixed size. So suppose a block has a size of only 10 transactions, for example. So अगर 11th transaction आएगी, it will automatically go in block number 2. If 21 will come, automatically block number 3 and so on. Okay, so block number signifies that. Now, how does a blockchain function? What is basically a blockchain? Suppose two of us are transacting. Suppose me and Jyotsna ma'am are transacting. हम message कर रहे हैं. So right now, what do we use for messaging? We can use normal text messages. We can use WhatsApp. Okay, we can use Instagram messaging and बहुत सारे हैं. But generally, if we have to interact, we use WhatsApp. WhatsApp is centralized. Okay, so Mark Zuckerberg, if he wants to delete anything of it, he can. People say that it is encrypted. They say that no one can see anything, blah, blah, blah. But I don't believe it personally. And obviously, it is a centralized thing. Yeah, I am explaining blockchain. Please focus, Mr. Deepak. So what exactly happens there is, because of it being a centralized architecture, the interactions, it's like a client server architecture. I don't know how many of you all are technical students. So एक server होता है और बहुत सारे clients होते हैं. So suppose Google है, Google का एक server है. So two people have to connect. Suppose I'm sending you a Gmail, from my Gmail account, I'm sending you an email. So it has to go through Google. Okay, so if there is a central structure, whatever the peers, the clients are there, they have to go through Google. So WhatsApp का एक centralized server है. I am messaging someone, it has to go through WhatsApp. Now, when you talk about blockchain, there is no centralized server. The centralized party is removed. So now, if I'm using blockchain and I have to suppose send some message to ma'am, Jyotsna ma'am here, I will directly be able to send her the message. No one will be there in the middle. But again, there is a problem. What if the message is corrupt? What if the message has a virus? What if the message can harm someone? अगर ऐसा कुछ problem है, तो message जाना नहीं चाहिए. It should not be going, right? So what we do is, instead of sending the message directly to her without verifying, we have the entire world. We have the entire system sitting there to verify that. And that's what is called by mining. You might have heard about Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin mining के बारे में आप लोगों ने सुना होगा. Yeah, I'll share the PPT, don't worry. Bitcoin mining के बारे में आप लोगों ने सुना होगा. So what exactly does Bitcoin mining mean? Simply verification. It's not mining that is done with gold. जैसे सोने के लिए mine करते हैं वो औजार लेके digging करते हैं. No, it's not that. It is simply verifying. So if I am sending some transaction to say ma'am, there are people who will be able to verify that the message is not corrupt, it is not going to harm anyone, the person who's sending is a genuine sender, all of those things. So I create a transaction that, okay, sending message to ma'am. I put it online. No one can read the message. Why? Because it is using cryptography. It uses cryptography. So I put the message online. The message goes online in the online environment. And there, what happens is all the people in the network, Bitcoin network, blockchain network, whatever you call it, they start verifying the message. वो message देखते हैं, वो पढ़ने लगते हैं कि बराबर है, नहीं बराबर है, बराबर है, नहीं बराबर है. So what they do, they pick up all the correct transactions. No, Bitcoin miner can see the transaction, but it is encrypted. Okay, so the message उनको ये दिखेगा कि प्रणव ने ज्योत्सना मैडम को मैसेज भेजा है, बट उसके अंदर का डिटेल्स उनको नहीं दिखेगा. टेक्निकली उनको ये भी नहीं दिखेगा, प्रणव एंड ज्योत्सना का नाम भी नहीं दिखेगा उनको. ओके, सो इफ प्रणव इज सेंडिंग अ मैसेज टू ज्योत्सना मैम, किसी का नाम भी नहीं दिखने वाला है. इट इज जस्ट द ट्रांजैक्शन दैट इज विजिबल. So they pick up all the valid transactions, they put it in a box. That box is called as a block, number 2 part here. They verify everything. Okay, they verify each and everything. They bundle it together. They put it on the internet. Okay, so it forms like a chain. So block 1 is connected to 2, is connected to 3, is connected to 4. There is a reason why all the blocks are connected. I'll share with you just a moment. Once that is put on the net, okay, hashing and everything is done, it is put on the net, it signifies the message is sent. Now, can I delete that message? No. Can I modify that message? No. Can I refrain from that message? No. I cannot do anything to that message. Neither can ma'am do it. अगर मैम ने वो मैसेज रीड किया तो मैम ये भी नहीं बोल सकते कि मैंने मैसेज रीड नहीं किया. All right, so this is how blockchain works. So it is safe, it is secure, it is immutable, it cannot be changed, and it does not involve a central party. So for now, you to buy something from Amazon, for you to book an Uber cab, for you to process a financial statement, for you to perform some managerial task, you do not need a centralized architecture. You do not need a centralized entity. You do not need a bank for transferring money. You do not need, say, Uber, the application Uber, for transporting yourself. You do not need Airbnb to book an apartment. You can directly book it on your own. Obviously, these infrastructures are under development right now. If you see, we were talking about blockchain. Blockchain is applicable in a lot of domains. You name a domain and blockchain is already there. कौन सा domain में नहीं है? There is no such domain where blockchain is not there. But obviously, if you want to apply blockchain to a particular scenario, you need a lot of things. You need a lot of things here. So what happens is, you can't have a blockchain for the panwala shop down. It's stupid. You can have payment channels, okay, but you can't have that, right? So these are some of the sectors I've highlighted here in the presentation. If it's not visible, I'll just zoom into it, different aspects of it. So that's what this is. Now here, I'll just quickly analyze some questions. I will be mailing you the presentation. Don't worry, we'll put it up online. Blockchain works, transaction health, everything effective for us. Great, sir. It can be used for the wrong purpose also, if not monitored. Blockchain can be used for the wrong purpose. Humans do wrong things. So it's not blockchain's fault, it is humans' fault. And obviously for that you can monitor. Now Bitcoin को लेके बहुत सारे issues है, government ने बताए हैं, लोगों ने बताए हैं. So it's not Bitcoin's fault if something wrong is happening in Bitcoin. Technically, जितना ट्रांजैक्शन बिटकॉइन से हुआ या जितने भी उल्टे काम बिटकॉइन से हुए, उससे 1000 गुना ज्यादा कैश से होते हैं. कैश इज अ परफेक्टली एनोनिमस करेंसी. सो द कैश दैट यू हैव इन योर वॉलेट, क्या आप बता सकते हो वो कैश पाकिस्तान होके नहीं आया है, बांग्लादेश होके नहीं आया है, कोई टेररिस्ट एक्टिविटी में यूज नहीं किया है? नो, यू कैन नॉट से, बिकॉज दैट इज anonymous. But if you have Bitcoin or you have a transaction on blockchain, you can get the link till the end. पूरा का पूरा online है. So that's why obviously everything can be used for wrong purpose, but it can be monitored, as you rightly said. How will a miner know that the message is not corrupt? When does he know any detail? There are algorithms, there are ways of understanding those things. Like for example, there is something called as ZK snaps, zero knowledge proof. So for example, I will tell you, say Jessica is asking this question. So I'll say, Jessica, I know a secret about you. How will you verify that I know the secret? I will have to tell you the secret, right? Then you'll verify. But zero knowledge proof is a way, is a mechanism on which you can verify it without me telling you the actual secret. You want to know more about it, you can Google it, not a problem. Then how to overcome it? The agencies have to look at it. We don't need to worry. How blockchain related to cloud computing 2020? It is related big time to cloud computing, but I don't want to get into it. The topic is about finance and management. So, we can have like a different session on that. Scope of blockchain in education sector, huge scope, guys, huge scope. What is Bitcoin? It is the first application of blockchain and one of the best applications till now. It can never be hacked. It can never be hacked. It's been 10 years, not once it has been hacked. And it does not matter whether you know the creator of Bitcoin or no. Do you know Pythagoras? But we learn Pythagoras theorem. You know Euclid? No, we learn Euclidean distance in our things. Do you know Shakespeare? जानते थे Shakespeare को? नहीं, but we read his books and all. So you don't need to know the creator. You just need to focus on the math because it is open source. Everyone has verified it. So that's why. Blockchain and Bitcoin are not the same. Blockchain is basically your internet, for example. And Bitcoin is, suppose you're playing Call of Duty. So Bitcoin is just an application on blockchain. Call of Duty is just an application on the internet. Okay. So in other words, it can disrupt the disruptions. It is disrupting the disruptions, guys. It is disrupting the disruptions. It is not hackable because everyone knows what the transactions are. Everyone has a copy of the blockchain. So if I want to manipulate it, if I want to hack it, I have to manipulate the entire world. So that's a big problem. Current challenges. Okay, guys, I'll continue with the session. The rest of the questions I'll take in a bit. So these are basically the domains in which the blockchain can work, but we are significantly talking about finance and management. So we know that finance is one of the most important sectors in our life. It is such an important sector that we live for finance, we work for finance, we are doing everything for finance. And if that itself is being manipulated, if that itself is being played by people, it's pathetic. So why is blockchain important? You can see blockchain is the number one skill set in this website. This is a snapshot. I'll be showing you the website also. The name of the website is Upwork. A lot of freelancing jobs are there available there. So you need not work for any firm. You can have your own hobby and you can do part-time work there. Whatever may be your talent, whatever is your domain, not a problem. If you look at how blockchain has grown, initially it was the foundation days and then we moved and now we are in the accelerated adoption phase. What happens in the accelerated adoption phase is that everywhere it is being applied. In fact, I don't know if you all know, the government of Maharashtra has established a sandbox on blockchain where in collaboration with PwC, they have developed a platform wherein you can go, you can develop your own blockchain and they are going to finance you. They are going to pay you for that. Every government in India, the state governments, they have allocated funds for blockchain. UP government is working on power distribution on blockchain. Telangana government is working on, again, different aspects of death registration, land registration on blockchain. So हर government ने कुछ पैसे अलग अलग allocate किए हैं blockchain के development के लिए. So if you look at it, blockchain is growing in familiarity. Okay, so you can see how impactful blockchain is, and blockchain is very important for finance, for the fintech landscape. Okay, if you look at the total, all the unicorns of fintech around the globe, our company, Indian company, is 197. That is Paytm. Okay, this fourth company here, I don't know if you all can see. This is the fourth company, 197, and there is another company here. No annotations are there, so I can't highlight it. So there's a small dot of $1 billion and 197 is around $10 billion. So you can imagine that India, we are growing in terms of finance and fintech. Our dear Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, also has addressed the world from Singapore in 2008, and he also mentioned about this Industry 4.0. This is the fourth industry revolution. So three already happened before. This is the fourth one. In the fourth one, we are focusing on fintech, blockchain, AI, IoT, all of these things, nanotechnology. And you can imagine blockchain is like the base of everything. Why? Because it makes everything secure. It makes everything distributed. It removes manipulation. It is focused on math. How is India doing with respect to fintech? India is leading into it. Fintech adoption grew 64% in India. Okay, India, China, where India is leading the pack. Who said this? EY. You can Google what EY is, who EY is. Ernst & Young, it's one of the biggest MNCs in the world. You can see. And when this growth was there, trust me, India was number one. We literally pushed China off the first position, और हम लोग number one हो गए. Okay, China and India, we have a lot of manpower. We have a lot of population, and because of which we have a lot of people who can work. But the good news is India has an average age much younger than China. हम लोग बहुत young हैं. If you look at our demography, our average age is around 32, 35. 5 साल के बाद our average age is just going to be around 37. China, America, Japan, Russia, इन सब की average age would be much above 50. तो काम वो लोग नहीं कर सकते. काम किसको करना है? हमको. But the problem is, in India, the skill development is a little slow. We are not updated with the skill set. I've not put the snapshot here, but there was a report by UNICEF that came out, which said that Indians are not as skilled. Okay, there are a lot of problems. We'll not get into the problems, but what is the solution? The solution is that you have to take the step. You have to identify any interest of your choice. You like machine learning, you like AI, you like artisting, whatever, XYZ, blockchain, and you have to get skilled. If you want some technicalities, help in that, we are here for you. Thakur College is there, Programming Fiesta is there. We, in collaboration also, we are planning a lot of courses, online courses, short duration, long duration, both very nominal, and in the sectors of AI, in the sectors of data science, in blockchain. These 2-3 sectors we are collaborating. I have independent courses as well. So in case if you all are interested, you all can get in touch with me. But whatever it may be, you need to get skilled. You need to get skilled. I'll tell you why that is important in another 5 minutes. I have a lot of pages open in the background. So this is another comprehensive report where we have outgrown China. So India is leading the pack. So if you look at this, the trends in fintech today, blockchain is number one trend. And that's what we have to focus on. Another major issue that we have in all of our activities is management. We want to manage things. We want to manage things properly. So there are different types of management technically. Management involves a lot of things: planning, organizing, staffing, blah, blah, blah. A lot of things are there, a lot of things. And management is not one particular domain. Excuse me. Management has a lot of domains under it. It has resource management, it has finance management, it has logistics management, it has project management. बहुत सारा कुछ है. Okay, so we'll not be able to touch everything, but I'll just give you a gist of it. In any kind of management, there are a lot of challenges. Okay, so you need a plan, you need a clear process, you need someone who can manage it properly, you need to train your staff, you need to develop the documents and everything. So in any management procedure, whether it is project management, whether it is supply chain management, whether it is the logistics management, whatever, there is a lot of friction. Okay, let's look at a simple thing, a supply chain management. उसके अंदर क्या होता है कि जैसे I am having a supply of something. Suppose in this time right now of COVID, I want to supply certain thing. Say I want to supply some cereals, some wheat or dal or something. मुझे supply करना है. मेरी factory है. मुझे मेरी factory से आपके पास पहुंचाना है. So there are multiple things in it. Okay, I have to pack it. I have to give it to the the logistics company. Logistics company will give it to the distributor. Distributor will separate it out. Separate करके वो वापस दूसरी logistic company को देगा. वो logistic company local किराना stores को देंगे. किराना store आपको देगा. Now you tell me, the food item that you receive, क्या guarantee है कि वो perfect pure है? There's no guarantee. For a lot of food items, they say organic food. They say this food. They say that food. What is the guarantee it is that way? No. But if you have everything on the blockchain, all records are on the blockchain. किसने manufacture किया, कब manufacture किया, किसने वहां से उसको उठाया, कहाँ पे deliver किया, वो distributor ने कैसे उसको segregate किया, कौन से logistic company को दिया, कौन सा tempo वाला वो उठा के कितने बजे लाके किराना store को दिया, किराना store ने किसको दिया और उसने आपको दिया. Everything will be available on this. Okay, this phone of yours, you just scan it and everything will be visible there. Imagine, that's the power of blockchain. So in whatever industry you have, supplier, manufacturer, distributor, there is a lot of friction between these. So manufacturer को पता नहीं रहता supplier कहाँ से माल ला रहा है, distributor को पता नहीं रहता manufacturer कितना time लगाने वाला है, मैन्युफैक्चरर को पता नहीं था डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर के पास कितने टाइम सामान रहने वाला है. There's expiry, there's a lot of things in it. You imagine if everything is put on a public chain like this, and if everything can be seen by everyone, whatever relevant information, obviously everything is not supposed to be disclosed. आपको नहीं पता चलना चाहिए कि मैं सामान कहाँ से लाया हूँ, वरना आप डायरेक्ट जाके लाओगे. Technically you should be able to know it, but still in the modern world that's what it is. So you can restrict it. You can entirely restrict that much part. Okay, so that's the power of blockchain, right? And if you look at it, it can also help in these managerial tasks. There was a survey that came out by LinkedIn. मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, sir नहीं बोल रहे, Thakur College नहीं बोल रहा है, LinkedIn. I hope you all know what LinkedIn is. LinkedIn has come out with this survey, and it said top 15 emerging jobs. I'll show it to you live also. Website pe bhi hai. You please, go check it out. This is the article that shows, it came out in December 12, 2019. 15 fastest growing jobs. ये पूरा इन्होंने यहाँ दिया हुआ है. इसका एक अच्छा version ये है. Okay, 20 emerging jobs in which they have said number 1 is blockchain developer. Technically, you don't need to be a developer also. आपको अगर ब्लॉकचेन पता है क्या होता है, कैसे काम करता है, you can become a consultant. You don't need to be a developer. You can be a consultant. I'll show you the pay scale also live. Okay, मैं खुद के मुंह से नहीं बोलूंगा, आपको numbers दिखाऊंगा, आप खुद देखिएगा. Second is an AI specialist. Okay, so currently, we are working on all of these things. We are training students and professionals both. I am training in Bombay Stock Exchange also regarding this, and there are other institutes also there where I train. So specifically in Thakur College, we are also having a tie-up, and we would be coming up with such a course soon. So if you all want to get enrolled, you can just stay in touch with Thakur College or one of my handles, social media handles, that you can come. So if you look at these are the 15 skills that LinkedIn suggests you should know. Okay, what am I going to get out of it? So if we just type in blockchain here, see, I just type in blockchain, it'll just pop up. So blockchain analytics, कितना पैसा मिल रहा है इसको? $100 an hour. Blockchain, $150, $120 an hour, $85 an hour, $40 an hour. Okay, see, he's a consultant from Pakistan. All right, $40 an hour. खाली consultant है. Okay, you can also be a consultant. India, ये लो, India के भाई साहब आ गए. $45 an hour, and he's already earned $30,000. If you look at this, $45 an hour, it is around 3,000 rupees an hour. आपको क्या करना है लाइफ में? हफ्ते का 10 घंटा काम किया, 30,000 रुपए मिल गया. Pretty decent. Okay, in a month you're getting like 1,20,000. Not bad. By just being a consultant, by just specifying that, okay, this is supposed to be done, this is not supposed to be done, this is done, this is not supposed to be done. Okay, ये तो सारी दुनिया के हैं. If we just look at the Indian public here, okay, if we want to add filters, we can just add filters here. Filter by location. I'll type the location India. So In India, a lot of people are doing this. A lot of people see. It starts with $20, 45, 35, 17, 45, 39, 20, you know. So you can also become this, but obviously you need some experience. You need to learn how it works. You need to understand how it works, and then you can go. If you look at what is happening around the world, how the finances are being manipulated. US just got a $2 trillion bailout. You know how much is $1 trillion? I'll just give you the number. $1 billion is 7,500 crore INR. 1 billion. 1 trillion is 1,000 billion. So 7,500 को 1,000 से multiply करोगे. So that becomes how much? 7,500, another 3 zeros. So it becomes around 75 lakh crore. 2 trillion, 1.5 crore INR. I don't even know how many zeros are there in that. Okay. And yesterday or day before, you might have heard Mr. Modi. He also announced something similar. Obviously, it is required. I agree to all of that. A $266 billion bailout. That is around 20 lakh crore. 20 lakh crore rupees ka bailout. Okay, so in these times wherein there's a lot of disruption in all the sectors, and a lot of uncertainty about job and future and everything, what can save you? Being skilled can save you. Why? Because such projects are being launched. See, this is a news on 13th May 2020. Correct? What is the news? Blockchain firm partners with Indian government to boost earnings of farmers. So now farmers will be able to use blockchain for directly distributing their produce. जो भी वो लोग produce कर रहे हैं, middlemen सारे बिचौलिए हट जाएंगे, and farmers directly sell कर पाएंगे अपने products. So you can imagine how impactful and how powerful this is. So again, management, okay, all of that disrupted. So there's a lot of scope of blockchain. This is in finance. These are the different articles that I had come across. Okay, I have taken a few clippings from these articles here. And how can blockchain help? See, these are the reasons why we need blockchain, right? And 58 industries, this is a very beautiful article. 58 big industries blockchain can transform. You can see banking, messaging, hedge funds, बहुत सारा है, 58 है. I don't have time to go through all of that. But whatever sector you are from, whether you're from finance, whether you're from sports, whether you're from IT, whether you're from commerce, whether you're from banking, you're from insurance, you're from medicine, X, Y, Z, blockchain is going to change everything. And if you know about blockchain more than someone else, obviously you are safe and secure. Okay, ये EY का एक article था. It is revolutionizing supply chain management. So you can just check it out. So I'll share all of these links with you. So all in all, what we are trying to say here is that blockchain is the future. And if you do not adopt it, if you do not get into it, then obviously we will be left behind. This is the next big thing. I'm not saying that सब लोग को developer बनना चाहिए, सब लोग को coding करना चाहिए, सब लोग को blockchain बनाना चाहिए. No, please no. You need to know how this can change your industry. If you are into business, how this can change your business. If you are into management, how this can change your management. If you are into finance, how this can change your finance. X, Y, Z. How this can change your industry. Okay. So with this, I am towards the conclusion of my session. But we have a few questions here. In the 5 minutes, I'll try answering how much ever I can, and then we'll conclude. How can you explain it is secure? It's like not hackable. It's not hackable because all the chains are linked, all the blocks are linked. So if I want to change block number 24, so I will have to change all the blocks. And if I want to change all the blocks after 24, I need to have more computing power. मेरा computer सारी दुनिया के computer से powerful होना चाहिए. That doesn't make sense. Okay, so that's why it's not done. How can we stop double spending? It has already been stopped. If you look at Bitcoin transactions, now what is double spending? A lot of you all might not understand. Double spending का मतलब ये होता है कि अगर मेरे पास 100 रुपया है, मैंने 100 रुपया एक बंदे को दिया, I should not give the same 100 rupees to someone else. That is double spending. So you need to stop double spending there. How can you stop it? Bitcoin is already doing it. You just need to verify and put it up on the chain that, okay, this 100 rupees is spent. What are the current research challenges in blockchain? There technically are a lot of challenges because firstly, लोगों को समझ में नहीं आता है. Secondly, how will you apply it in every sector? So they are trying to figure it out. A lot of startups are there. They are doing their job and it's wonderfully going. How AI and gaming is connected to blockchain. See, I'll tell you one thing. Blockchain is the underlying thing. Blockchain is the basic. Like for example, internet. How can you do gaming on internet? How is AI connected to internet? Because internet is the underlying technology. उसके ऊपर game है, उसके ऊपर AI है. Similarly, blockchain is the underlying tech. And a lot of people call it the next generation of internet. Why? Because right now internet is also centralized. आप कहीं पे भी बैठ के कुछ भी करो, जो टॉप के लोग हैं, whether it is NSA, whether it is China, उनको सब पता चलता है. Why? Because internet is centralized. Blockchain, it is completely going to disrupt it. RSA, like a asymmetric algorithm. Yes. If you talk about Bitcoin, it uses SHA-256. Okay, SHA-256 is the algorithm that it uses, and you can use whatever you want, not a problem. How we can use blockchain in education field, please explain. Blockchain can be used for, if you talk about a college or institute, it can be used for attendance system, it can be used for managing records, it can be used for storing the details of the student. So if I am a student, मेरा पूरा life cycle उस पे store हो जाएगा. Where I was born, which school did I go, what grade did I get. If I'm going to an employer, मुझे खाली एम्प्लॉयर को मेरा QR कोड देना है, एम्प्लॉयर स्कैन करेगा, मेरा सारा हिस्ट्री उसके पास. Okay, Jyotsna, I'm just give me 5 more minutes. I'm just wrapping it up.
Yes, sir, please.
Encryption, again, SHA-256 is the encryption algorithm that is used, and that's what it is to keep privacy. Basically, privacy रखने के लिए encryption होता है. Sir, we can be able to transact only if we know cryptography. No, not at all. मुझे cryptography in depth नहीं पता है, especially SHA-256 नहीं पता. I know Playfair cipher, I know Railfence, I know all of those ciphers, but SHA-256 कैसे काम करता है मुझे नहीं मालूम है. But I still can transfer. A lot of commerce guys, yeah, in 2017 जब Bitcoin ऊपर जा रहा था, कितने सारे बनिए थे, दुकान वाले थे, कॉमर्स वाले थे, बिजनेसमैन, जिनको क्रिप्टोग्राफी का सी भी नहीं मालूम, उनको नहीं मालूम है क्रिप्टोग्राफी क्या होता है. They were buying and sending transactions on Bitcoin. So that's fine. In India, Bitcoin is legal or not? Bitcoin was always legal in India. Please guys, this is a big misconception. Indian government in 2018 had said Bitcoin is not a legal tender. Now what do you mean by tender? मतलब आप नीचे किराने के स्टोर पे जाके उसको नहीं बोल सकते that boss मुझे 1 किलो चावल दो, मैं तुमको Bitcoin दूंगा. लेकिन मुझे एक और बात बताइए, आप गोल्ड के लिए ऐसा कर सकते हो क्या? सोने का चेन लेके जाओ हाथ में और उसको बोलो मेरे को ये सामान दे, सोना ले. No, you can't do that. Gold is also not a legal tender, but is gold legal? Totally legal. So Bitcoin is totally legal in India. It was legal in India and it will remain legal in India and across the world. They cannot control it. It is a world computer which no one can shut down. US can't shut down. Russia cannot shut down. India cannot shut it down. Okay, so it is completely legal. You can interact in terms of Bitcoin. So a lot of people are saying feedback is submitted. Now, blockchain can be used in agriculture. Definitely it can be used in agriculture. I just gave you one example wherein farmers are directly getting connected. In educational field, okay, I have specified education. Is it okay? Agriculture, I have shared agriculture.
Mr. Pranav, we'll take one last question and then
really
we will end the session.
Okay, sir. Okay.
We will take one more last question and then we'll end the session because we have to start our session 3.
Yes, sir.
All the guests, again, this is a soft reminder here. There was over response for the session 1. So there is some technical problem for a session 1 feedback. We will surely send you the feedback link via your email, those who have registered, and you can fill up your feedback for session 1. Session 2 feedback is already available in a chat box here. Please fill up your session 2 feedback. Over to you, Pranav sir, for your last question.
Yes, sir. So what programming language is used? A lot of programming languages used. You can use Java, Python, C#, anyone. My personal favorite is Solidity. So yeah, that's it. I think there are a lot of other questions, guys. What you all can do is, right now we have time restriction. You have my handles, you have my social media. You definitely can get in touch with me, and I would love to discuss the topic further. With this, I would like to conclude, and I would like to thank the entire committee behind the entire event here, Mr. Santosh Singh. One of the greatest personalities I personally have come across. Very inspiring, very hardworking. His entire team, Jyotsna ma'am, Anand sir, everyone. If I'm missing out a name, please forgive me. But I would like to thank everyone here. And most of all, the attendees here. It was great interacting with you all, guys. Uh, all the best and keep it rolling. Thank you, guys.
We will try to add Pranav Sastry sir in a WhatsApp group. So if there is still any pending questions, sir will be happy to answer. Over to you, Jyotsna ma'am.
Pranav sir, thank you so much for such a wonderful session. And from the chat box, I can easily make out people are so eager. I got some personal messages. People wanted to organize your session in their university and colleges. So I'll definitely share all your whereabouts with those people. I have made a note. But it was actually a wonderful session. I'm so thankful to the session expert and all the participants because everybody was glued in your session. And I'm sure all of us have learned so much about the blockchain because so many questions that tells about the whole session means people wanted to learn out of the session. Thank you all the participants. Now I would like to request Secretary of the Conclave, Mr. Anand Upadhyay, to come and extend a formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Jyotsna Madam, for inviting me. Good afternoon, respected Mr. Pranav Sastry, Director, Sastry Programming Private Limited, and the founder of Festa. Our most valued invited participants, ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. On behalf of Harvard College of Science and Commerce, management, principal, HOD, and all my work colleagues, and participants, and on my own behalf, I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to Mr. Pranav Sastry for giving a very in-depth knowledge about the blockchain and how the blockchain is used in the what finance and the what business. Once again, I appreciate it. Finally, I want to express my vote of thanks to management, principal, HOD, Dr. Santosh Singh, all my colleague friends, and all my dear students, those who all are supported me in a technical team, creative team, and were supporting member for this international infothon and the conclave what 2K20. I am also very thankful to all participants from India and abroad for participating in this IIC 2K20 in very short span of time. Once again, thankful everyone, and we will look forward for same love and participation in future events. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anand sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I'm hoping all the participants, they will enjoy the afternoon with the blockchain session. They will revise everything either while having their lunch and all. So thank you all across the world. We have the participant and we are looking forward for the next sessions. Many of you have enrolled in multiple sessions. So looking after for the next session. So all the very best to everyone. Have a happy lockdown sessions and we all will pray for the betterment of the whole world. So thank you so much.